12 Steps, Part 2 of 4. The Man Who Wasn't There. The message had come at 11:47 p.m. Stop counting, detective. Mara stared at her phone for a long time. Then she did the only thing she knew how to do. She counted again. 12 steps to the basement. A body found at the bottom, but the chalk outline told a different story. The man had died at step 8. Someone had moved him. Someone who had been in that locked room after Daniel Ashworth took his last breath. Someone who was still watching. By morning, Mara had a name. The hotel's security footage had been wiped, professionally, completely. But one camera had been missed. A small one, mounted above the laundry exit on the ground floor. At 1:13 a.m., almost 90 minutes after Daniel Ashworth's estimated time of death, a man in a gray coat walked out of the hotel, unhurried, calm, carrying nothing. Mara watched the footage 11 times. "Who is he?" she asked. Officer Trent leaned in. No match in the system. He checked in under a false name, paid cash. "Nobody pays cash anymore," Mara said quietly, "unless they know exactly what they're doing." The false name was Robert Vane. The room registered under that name, room 211, had been cleaned spotlessly. No prints, no fibers, no trace of occupation, except for one thing, a single playing card, left on the pillow. The 9 of spades. "It's a message," said Quinn, standing in the doorway. "Everything about this case is a message," Mara replied. She picked up the card with gloved fingers. "He wants us to know he was here. He's not hiding, he's performing." "Performing for who?" Mara looked at the card for a long moment. "For me," she said. She found the first real lead in Daniel Ashworth's financial records. 3 weeks before his death, he had transferred a significant sum, quietly, through a series of shell accounts, to a private research firm based in Geneva. The firm had no public presence, no website, no registered employees, but it had a name, Harlow Consulting. Mara went very still. Harlow, the same name as the hotel. "That's not a coincidence," Quinn said. "No," she agreed. "It's a signature. Someone is signing their work." She closed the file. Daniel Ashworth didn't come to this hotel by accident. He was led here. The interview room at the precinct was cold, and deliberately so. Across the table sat a woman named Claire Ashworth, Daniel's younger sister. She had arrived without a lawyer, which Mara found interesting. "Thank you for coming in," Mara began. "I want to know who killed my brother," Claire said flatly. No tears, no trembling, just a steady, watchful stillness. "So do we. Can you tell me what your brother was working on before he died?" Claire folded her hands on the table. "He was investigating someone. He wouldn't tell me who, but he was frightened." Daniel was never frightened of anything. "When did that change?" 6 weeks ago. After Geneva, he went to Geneva." Mara kept her voice neutral. "For 3 days, he came back different, quieter. He changed all his passwords, bought a new phone, started paying for everything in cash." Claire paused. "He told me one thing, just one." "What did he say?" Claire looked directly at Mara. Her eyes were steady and cold. "He said if anything happens to me, count the steps." The room went completely silent. Mara felt the hair rise on the back of her neck. "Count the steps," she repeated slowly. "I didn't understand it then," Claire said. "Do you?" Mara said nothing, but her hand moved to her notebook. That evening, Mara went back to the Harlow Hotel for the 3rd time. She stood at the top of the basement stairs and looked down. 12 steps. Daniel Ashworth had known about the steps before he arrived. He had sent his sister a message, a code, hidden in plain sight, which meant he had expected to die there, which meant he had known what was coming. "You walked in knowing," Mara said quietly to the empty stairwell. "Why? What were you trying to prove?" Her phone buzzed. "Unknown number." "Same as before." She answered it this time. Silence. Then a voice, low, unhurried, almost gentle. "You're getting closer, detective. I'd slow down if I were you." "Who is this?" Mara said. "Someone who has been watching you for a very long time." A pause. "You were in Geneva once. Do you remember? 4 years ago. A case you were told to close." Mara's grip tightened on the phone. She remembered. A body. A locked room. A compound in the bloodstream that left almost no trace. "You were there," she said. "I'm always there, detective." The voice was almost amused. "The question isn't who I am. The question is, what did Daniel Ashworth find in Geneva that was worth dying for?" The line went dead. Mara stood at the top of the 12 steps for a long time. Then she began to count again. Back at the precinct, she pulled the Geneva file. It had been sealed, classified, at a level that required 2 authorizations to access. Mara had 1. She needed a second signature. She went to her captain's office and knocked. "I need access to a sealed file," she said. "Geneva. 4 years ago." Captain Reeves looked up slowly. He was a careful man, measured, deliberate. But something shifted in his expression when she said Geneva, something that looked, just for a moment, like fear. That file doesn't exist, he said. I know, Mara replied. That's why I need to see it. He said nothing for a long time. Then he picked up his pen, closed the door, Voss. The whistleblower had disappeared before he could testify. The network, Mara said. Is it still active? Reeves looked at her steadily. Why do you think your case got assigned to you specifically? She felt the ground shift when he finished. They wanted me on very still, she said. The compound You're not in Daniel Ashworth's bloodstream. Voss. The one Dr. Chen had seen once before. They're investigating. First appeared in Geneva. End of part 4 years ago. Part 3 coming next week. All ruled natural causes. All connected to a single whistleblower who had been about to expose a private intelligence network operating across 7 countries.